Hello everyone and welcome back to Sunsoul Gaming. So we've got two matches for you today on map control, and we're using Himmelsdorf. Now I am in what tactic for Blitz currently, and we're going to start this video with this just because this is a chaotically laid out map. The gameplay varies so much just because of the way this map is laid out, and in my personal opinion, there is no one way to really control this map just because of all of the different things that can happen. Now, the reason I've brought up this map overview is just to sort of point out a few key things before we get into the matches that I'm going to show you today. Now, this heavy route here and this medium route here, right, and these back channels actually, this entire box section right here is very dangerous for anybody. It doesn't matter where you are, it's dangerous. There are a lot of crossfire options. I mean, you've got crossfire from these channels which come across the middle here, also off the top of these ramps which can come down into these middle sections. You know, like I say, there's 4 avenues right there, and they've got all of these different access points where they can attack. They can also get shots through from up here to over here, you know. So as you can see, chaotic. There is a lot of crossfire that can happen here in this middle square box. Now, in saying that, a lot of teams do enjoy going the one way. They will all either come out to the tracks here and split off whichever way they want to go, and they'll either push through as a whole team, which in my opinion is the smart option, or they will split up. Now, when you split up on this map, if you have all gone one way, you start to struggle. So say the enemy heavies had sent 2 heavies, 3 heavies this way, right, and they've got the rest of their mediums and lights out here. Now what's going to happen is these mediums and lights, they're going to slowly be trying to retreat, get away from the push that's happening from the enemy team, and they are going to lose. They are going to lose if the enemy team keeps pushing through. But what happens a lot of the time is this red team would split up. They would leave tanks behind sitting in this location to hold off the heavy push, and they would end up pushing the rest of the tanks through this one. Now what happens with these guys up the top is they normally end up out the back here, and these heavies, they get pushed on by the greens take over this section. 2 separate things going on. Now this is what I mean, it's chaotic. You can see 7 verse 4 turn back into 4 verse 3 very, very quickly, and we're going to show you these 2 matches real quick and you're going to understand exactly what I mean. And so there is no real way to control this map. Stay with your team, don't split up, focus your fire. That is pretty much the gist of Himmelsdorf. Now before we start, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for me, like the video if you like the content, and hope you guys enjoy. So these replays are from the last update, but that's fine because it doesn't affect map control at all. Now this one was sent in by Hercules. He's no longer in the clan that you see here, but straight off the bat, his heavies, they're going to push the heavy route. It is 4 versus 4 on the heavies front, which, you know, it makes sense. You're going to go to the side of the map that you have the strongest number advantage on. Now straight off the bat, he sees a heavy over there. His light tanks have done the right thing. They've gone out to the medium side, they've spotted it. And I say this in so many videos, if you are outmatched, if you're outnumbered, at least still do your original role. If you're a medium or a light tank, spot and then retreat, which you're going to see happen on the map here. 1 light tank's already backed off, the TD's backing off. You've got 1 light tank who's staying in position just to spot up. And right here, these heavies have gotten real aggressive. They've pushed right through that heavy channel, and that's what you need to do. If there is no opposition there, you need to push through. Now, moving as a whole team, which is basically what we are seeing here from Hercules' team, they're staying together for the most part. That light tank that was spotting, he's now run away because the heavies have pushed hard. Now, what I was saying in that first part on the map tactics, the enemy team have split up. They are separated. You've got 2 heavies just around here to the right. The rest of the team has gone left, and they have continued to push left. Now, the thing that Hercules' team's done here by retreating and firing on those guys is just bleed their hit points off. there's that Sheridan who retreated. He's come back to help out the heavies up here, which is the correct way to do it. He's stayed with his team, he's pulled together, and he's focused firing. He sees that the 62A is the weaker target, and that's who the Sheridan went after. And that's also who Hercules is going to go for. Clear him out, get him out of the way, hold up that mouse, the Kranwagen, anything else that might want to try and come back this way. And also, like I said on the map tactics thing, you now have two battles happening, one in this corner and one in the far corner over the other side. Now, had those light tanks over the far side continued to run away and catch up with the team here, that E100 would probably have been dead a long time ago. And I mean, they could have just held the back sort of flank from the top corner, from the top right corner of the map. That would have been the best place to hold, because then you were actually able to receive assistance from your heavies that have pushed around where Hercules' team is sitting. You know, so retreat into those avenues, keep yourself safe within fire range of your team, within being able to pull back or push forward to be able to get help from all of your teammates. But they didn't do that, they did die, and as you can see on the minimap, that light tank that survived that battle on the other side of the map has now come in behind Hercules' team here. But that separation cost the red team big time. If they hadn't separated and those guys had just turned around when they spotted Hercules and the rest of his guys pushing, it could have been a whole different match, because those light tanks and that tank destroyer still would have been sitting in the bottom corner of the map waiting for them to push on instead of seeing them push back. So I mean, it could have been different, it could have been a whole lot different, but because they split up, it's cost them, and it can cost either team, either way that went. Both teams could have suffered just as equally. Now, because they did lose on that side, that light tank is still running around, he's still being a menace, but the heavies were left uncontested here, as the majority of the tanks on the map were heavies. That was not the right option for the enemy, and it's now 3 heavies versus this 1 medium, and he's going to get a nice shot there into the Sheridan. And this is where the middle of the map really takes place, at the end game, when you're chasing after that one last light or medium tank. Come to the middle of the map, come to the middle of the map, you will be able to spot them no matter where they're going. And like I say, there are so many different avenues of attack that and crossfire through here, that you're going to catch that light tank or medium that is trying to escape. And the Sheridan's not going to have a very fun time. Now, Hercules lines up that shot, doesn't get it on the Sheridan unfortunately, but he will get him just up the other side of the map here, because like I say, there are so many different crossfire options from the middle of this map. And he's just going to wait. He's going to wait for the Sheridan to pull across into another open avenue of attack right here, and bam, just clips the back of his tank. Great way to pull off the win. And I mean, just awesome teamwork, how all of the heavies stayed together. They realised that there was a push opportunity, they pushed through, they separated the enemy team. Nice mastery there, 5,549 damage, 4 kills there for Hercules. And great team effort there to win on Himmelsdorf. It is all about team gameplay on that map. So stick with your team, work with your team, create that crossfire, and we're going to jump right into the next match. Now, this one here is one of my replays. And again, you're going to see the team split. It's going to happen, and you're going to see it. It's not going to work out. If you are a lone medium in a heavy setup like this on Himmelsdorf, do not commit to A. By all means, light it up, spot it, yes, but do not commit. Stay with your team, stay with your teammates. I'm trying to sort of get this guy to realise we're all coming out this side. He'll figure that out on his own soon enough. But the rest of the heavies, they're all coming this way as well. We're all going out to the tracks. We've got the one guy who's going over to cap base C. And I mean, I'm just going to pull up here. I'm going to make sure this medium's not going to push in, but because they are capping base A and base B, sorry, not base A, base B and base D, because the enemy are capping those bases, Faded's realised they're not over here. The Object 140 is by himself, and he's going to get in there. He's going to get real aggressive. Now, this is where it happens. You can see those guys that went over to base C that have been capping that, they have stopped there because they know that the enemy is coming through D. In fact, one of them has even pushed over to D by himself. Completely stupid move. If he had stayed with his guy back on C, who is now calling for assistance, he probably could have survived a lot longer. Now, I'm not going to continue pushing with the rest of my team there. I probably should, in hindsight, push with them, because that would be the smarter move. But this guy is still full hit points. He's in a decent tank, he does have held down positions, and he can hold here. So that is why I'm actually going to go give him all the support I can. Now, my teammates, they've finally cleared out that medium tank that was running away, and because they are now over on the other side of the map where base B is, they have crossfire into all of these heavy tanks that are up here over at C from the enemy team. And my teammates, both the heavies that stayed back here, they are both dead. They've been focused out, they are dead. So I'm not going to commit here. I'm going to just keep these guys lit up, wait for my opportunities like that to snap some shots into the sides of these guys, while my team sort of pushes around. Now you can see that one lone medium pushing himself into D. Again, not the right move. He's pushing him by himself, he's not staying with his team. And he's dead now because of it. He's dead now. But the rest of my team are still getting the crossfire on these guys up top. As you can see, we've got this one heavy tank, one heavy tank that's pushed through onto C by himself through the middle. Very dangerous and risky move on his part, because of the amount of crossfire. But our team had the attention of the other guys that were over at D, so he was able to do it safely. He gets up here, and I must thank him for that. He pushed up here to give me the support I needed. Well, I didn't actually need the support, but either way, I thank him for it. We do manage to clear out these guys up here. That E100 should have also pushed with his team, but he didn't. Sorry about that Weevil crashing into you there, not the best driving by me. But that E100 turning around to try and hold off that push was a silly move. If he had pushed with his team, if his team had kept being aggressive and didn't stop there in that crossfire channel, if they had just continued to push towards me, all four of them at the same time, I would have been dead, they would have been in a safer position, and my team would have been scattered, and they would have won. But because they kept separating, they kept splitting up, they kept trying to control flanks, they've lost out, and it's just this lone E100 now. Faded is unfortunately going to go down. I don't get there in time to save him, but he's caught this E100 off guard. I know that I'm going to out-reload this guy, so I'm just going to pop around the corner, I'm going to slam this shell into his lower plate. And like I say, guys, map control on this map is all about teamwork. Staying with your team, working with your team, creating that crossfire, and just not getting singled out. If you are going to hold off a flank, hold off the flank in a position where you can fall back to your team or have your team fall back to you. Like that FV215B did. He was holding in a position where I was able to come back and give him support, which is the correct thing to do if you are going to try and hold the flank on this map. Otherwise, aggressively keep going with your team. Continue to push around. It is a circular sort of tactic where you're just going to be chasing, but you're going to separate the enemy, you're going to spread them out, and you're going to take them down one by one. And that is how you win on Himmelsdorf. So don't get yourself singled out. Do not push alone. Watch out for crossfire. All of these things, guys. I hope this video helps some of you. If you want anything explained further, feel free to ask me in the comments. I will reply. Until next time, stay safe, use cover. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for me. Cheers.